Is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
All right, welcome into the show. Oh, fantastic. Where we are? There we are right there. How's it going? Welcome into Mornings on Main Street on this fantastic Wednesday, January the 12th, 2022. Another fun show for you today. A lot of cool things happening. We got a magician, we got a comedian, and we got a mover and a shaker all on the show today just for you guys as we get off and running on this beautiful day. Again, we are, I tell you, January, the worst month of the year. We're almost halfway through it, so we're doing pretty good. And I think they might be calling for some snow this weekend. I don't know. I'm not a weather guy. They'll play one on TV, so we'll see what happens. But it's January, so it's supposed to snow, right? So we're off and running today. Let's bring in our good friend, the intern, this morning. Intern, how are you, pal?
I'm doing well, man. How are you doing today, Joe?
Good to see you. You all right? Tough there with the language this morning?
Just with the headphones, it has the feedback, so I'm good now, though.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Absolutely.
How are you hearing me then? You have a bionic ear?
That whole thing? The telepathy?
Oh,
deal?
We have a new sweatshirt on.
Oh, yeah. My dad got this for me. How hype is this?
Somebody went to Walmart.
No, I'm pretty sure he got this from the locker room.
He went to the Titans locker room and got who would be the same size as you on the Titans?
Oh, many of them. We all share clothes.
Excluding the punter and the kicker, I'd like to know who the same size is with you on this team.
Maybe Brett Kern, but
that's punter. He doesn't count. Punter kickers don't count. Although the Titans kicker Randy Bullock, he's got a hashtag on Twitter that's they call him Fat Randy.
I know. He said one time. Randy Bullock kicked a field goal, and Keith Bullock tweeted, "Man, shout out to my fat cousin," and then added him on Twitter. Like it was a clutch kick too. Like
I couldn't do that. I couldn't kick it 20. If you put me in the game and said, "Joe, you got to kick 20-yard field goal for your team to go to the Super Bowl," I could not. I would walk off the field. I couldn't do it.
Me too. You know, I read that Tyler Bray, if anybody remembers him, he stayed in the NFL for 11 years as third-string quarterback at Kansas City. Perfect job ever.
I think that's a little skewed a little bit.
Yeah, that's not a fact, but it's somewhere along those lines.
He got cut about 4 years in and went to the Bears and then rode the pine for a while. But you know what? If you're in the NFL for 4 or 5 years, you get a pension. So good for those guys. Well,
yeah. If you don't have to play your backup quarterback, that's probably the best.
Well, the best job ever was a guy who backed up Peyton Manning at the Colts, a guy named Jim Sorgi. He never played, and for a year, and then Curtis Painter backed up Peyton, and the last part was with the Colts. Those guys never saw the field and got paid probably, I don't know, $600,000, $800,000 a year to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's not happening here with you. So that's
Right.
okay. 'Cause
Okay. Well,
I
you
don't
know,
make near that much.
You've seen that movie with Mark Wahlberg. He made it from the streets going up into the NFL.
It's a true story, though.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. What's the name of that movie?
Unbelievable.
Vince Papaya or what was Papali? or something?
Gabagool.
Yeah. He made it for 3 years for the Eagles. Oh, good times
Oh,
there.
Papali.
Papali. Yeah. I was right the first time.
No, I got it.
Let me tell you, the last time I was wrong, this is a true story. Last time I was wrong, Walter Mondale in 84.
Wow.
Yep.
It's a good streak you got going there.
Well, the joke is being with Walter Mondale is the fact that he, in the 84 election versus Ronald Reagan, he won one state, his home state of Minnesota. He got destroyed in the presidential election in 1984. I mean, destroyed and all that. All right, pal. Front page of today's Main Street edition, Main Street Nashville, the edition you get delivered to your inbox. TC lawmakers kick off the 112th General Assembly, the state capitol, on Tuesday. It's every 2 years, right? That'll be 224 years the state's been around. Greatest state in the United States. And we will talk more about that, come up at 7:10 as soon as I can get off this page and move our way down. There we go. All right. I don't know if you saw this yesterday. I know we're all busy during the day, but I caught part of it. Let me see where it is here. Yesterday, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul and Anthony Fauci, my goodness, they went at it yesterday. If you haven't seen the whole thing, there's clips all over social media. You should go ahead and read this because they went at it. And Rand Paul, man, he has been relentless against Anthony Fauci. And it was pretty good drama yesterday on TV. It's better than any soap opera I've seen in years. So read the story this morning. A really good article there, kind of summarizing everything that's put up for all that. But it's really, man, it was something else. All right, national banner, hit this day in history 40 years ago. Snow falls in the mid-state. All right, we talk about, oh, it's getting so warm now. You know, I mean, look, the coldest day of the century back then. Look at that. Tennessee's high that day, or its lowest overnight temperatures, -9. I'll pass on that. That was really nation. Here's the headline I don't want to see. Nation shivering. I will pass on that. I'm not a fan of the cold weather. So no, thank you at all as we do that. All right. So let's move down here. And we like to talk some sports on the show. But guys, I got to bring up the Nashville Predators because they won last night. Matt Duchene scores second goal in overtime. They beat the Colorado Avalanche 5-4 Tuesday night at home. They're on a tear, and nobody in these experts but the Nashville Predators will tell you, well, you know, they were going to be in the top. No, you all thought they'd be middle of the pack. Half you people thought they wouldn't make the playoffs, and they are rolling. So big win last night for the Nashville Predators as they sit front and center in their division. I'll pull up the standings here in just a second. That's cool. We love when people win in our area. Nashville Predators, 50 points, 3 ahead of the Colorado Avalanche, who they played last night. Nashville back home Thursday night at Bridgestone Arena as they take on the Buffalo Sabres. You like hockey, intern?
I do, yeah. I played for 9 years, actually.
Oh, okay.
Ice hockey. It stopped when I was 13, so I can still skate, though.
Are you a really good skater?
I actually am. My parents put me through a skating class. It's just when they started to hit us, like when that became legal to check. Right. I checked out, as they would say.
Would you get slammed to the board one good time?
Couple times. One time, I got double teamed by these two dudes coming around the side or behind the net, hit me right in the chest, and I was like, I'd like to leave.
Okay, and then you left. That's a metaphor for life. Life's going to hit you hard, and you walked away from that.
Exactly, which is what you're supposed to do, right?
I guess so. All right, Bonnaroo, they announced some of the lineup yesterday. Stevie Nicks, will you go see Bonnaroo? Have you been to Bonnaroo yet?
I haven't. I have a bunch of buddies that go. I don't know if I want to go or not. You want to go?
Don't eat the brownies.
Really?
My advice. Just don't eat the brownies.
Right, okay, I won't.
Let's do that. But Stevie Nicks, so that's really cool. It'd been better if Fleetwood Mac would have been there, but she'll sing all the songs that she sang with Fleetwood Mac. And J. Cole, I have no idea who that is. Tool, I do. The Chicks, Stevie Nicks. And Machine Gun Kelly's going to be. You're a big Machine Gun Kelly fan, aren't you?
Right, absolutely. I've never missed
Can you name a song?
Yes. There's one called Wild Boy.
Is it really?
It might be Wild Boys with a Z on the end.
So Wild Boys.
Could be, yeah.
All right, let's read your horoscope for the day. Interns with Taurus, you ready?
Yes.
Don't overthink what you must do. And this is interns trying to ask this girl out who works up here at Zaxby's in Lebanon, the drive-through, and he's nervous when I ask her out. So don't overthink what you must do. Trust in your ability to do what's right, and you'll avoid mistakes and deter someone. How do you say that word? Deter?
It's
Right?
deter, I'm pretty sure.
Someone from trying to take over. Stand tall and give your all, and good things will transpire. Romance and personal growth are favored.
All right, you know what? I'm going to tell her that she should take that job at Wendy's.
Yep, and then get the lifts out of your shoes. That's personal growth.
All right.
Perfect there. All right, let's finish this up by doing our comic strip tease today, and it's once again the hilarious Beetle Bailey. Now, playing the role of the general will be myself and the voice of John Travolta. And intern, you're going to play the secretary, and you're doing the voice of?
So it's the guy from Couples Retreat. What's his name? You know?
I don't know.
He's the yoga instructor.
Perfect. Okay, ready? John Travolta, the yoga instructor, doing Beetle Bailey. 3 and 2. Hey, Sandy, what are you putting on my snack tray today?
Oh, your wife sent me a list. Vitamins, aspirins, painkillers, and arthritis pills.
She's so weird or something.
And a cupcake, yes.
Oh, my gosh. That was absolutely terrible. Might be the worst one. If I go back and I read it better with Hannibal Lecter's voice, what are you putting on my snack tray?
Would you run it again? Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, your wife sent me a list. Vitamins, aspirin, painkillers, heart, and arthritis pills.
I'm not a fan of all that.
And a cup of cake.
Oh, that's so terrible.
They're like, they did that again?
It's like our boss is like, I pay them for this? Oh, but he's not watching until 7:10.
Right.
He doesn't know the show comes on until 7:10, so let's get out of this.
Right.
All right, we'll come back. Edward Birch is going to join us from the state of Tennessee. He's got a long title. He's very important, too. He's the Director of Business Development for the Tennessee Department of Economic Community and Development. He's a mover and a shaker, and he's going to tell you why Tennessee is the greatest state in the union. That's all next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Every year, it costs Tennessee more than $15 million to clean up roadside litter. It's time to keep your trash to yourself and our roadways clear, because nobody trashes Tennessee.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
Is your roof in need of repairs? Maybe it's time for a full roof replacement. If so, choose Middle Tennessee's #1 rated roofer. Tim Leeper Roofing has provided the Nashville area with outstanding residential and commercial services for nearly 2 decades. And with hundreds of 5-star reviews, Tim Leeper Roofing has satisfied thousands of homeowners. To schedule a free and honest estimate, find us online at timleeperroofing.com.
All right, welcome back into Mornings on Main Street. It seems like there's a UFO that's taking over Fessler's Lane in downtown that's stopped time, which is good. But before that, it was working just fine. Welcome to air quote live TV. That right there will show where the aliens are taking over Middle Tennessee as they come in there. Oh, it's working again. All right, thank you very much there, intern, and everything going. Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. as we get off and running on this beautiful Wednesday, January the 12th, 2022. All right, let's welcome a good friend of mine to the show, Edward Birch. Used to work at the Channel 4, outstanding reporter. He left me at Channel 4, broke my heart, but he is now the Director of Business Development for the Tennessee Department of Economic, Community, and Development. Edward, good to see you, buddy.
Joe, good to see you. I got to ask, though, were you and intern Justin eating some brownies before reading that Beetle Bailey? What was that?
No, we were not today.
That was marvelous. No, well done. How you been, Joe?
I'm doing well. We only eat brownies after work, and we get them from a donut shop here. So they're good. Edward, I love what you're doing, man. You're all over the state of Tennessee, and we love Tennessee. We're great state. You work for it. I live here and everything. Just to see how this state keeps attracting new businesses and people coming here left and right. What a fun time to have your job.
It really is, Joe. 2021, we saw a historic year in Tennessee by way of jobs that were being brought in, capital investment, more than 34,000 committed new jobs and over $12 billion, almost $13 billion in investment that companies are bringing to our great state. And, living here, as well as I do, it's the quality of life that attracts people. I mean, certainly no income tax helps, but the fact that when people live here, they're able to plant roots. There's something really for everybody, whether it be the young professionals that are looking to move here or people that are looking to start a family. It really is it's the promised land. We like to call it that, and I believe in what we're doing in Tennessee.
That's a great way to call it, the promised land. Let's start on the west side of the state. When Ford made that big announcement of building the big plant over in Memphis, I mean, that really made a lot of heads turn. I know there's a lot of other businesses we'll talk about have moved to Tennessee, but Ford putting that factory in Memphis, that was gigantic for the state of Tennessee.
It really was, Joe. I mean, we're talking 6,000 direct jobs, but we're also talking about kind of a watershed of more industries that are going to also be there as a result of that as well. I mean, this is something that is going to be transformative for that area, and a record $5.6 billion investment in the mega site in West Tennessee. But I mean, this is something, again, that I think we're going to see really just a watershed moment in West Tennessee with more industries that are also going to be looking there as well. More people that are going to be moving to Memphis, to Collierville, and some of those surrounding areas. And that is just so exciting to see. And this was something that has been in the works and something that we've been trying to locate a tremendous project there at that site for a long time. And it's so wonderful that Ford is coming.
We're here closer to home in Nashville with the announcement of Oracle and so many other businesses that are happening that, when Oracle, the same thing with Ford, Edward, when Oracle announced they were coming to Nashville, a lot of heads were turning because just a huge company in California making their way to this small Tennessee big town. Huge. And the whole East Bank over there getting revitalized because of Oracle coming here. I don't think we can't talk about that enough, having that huge company come to town.
No, certainly, Joe. I mean, we talked about Amazon locating in Nashville, and that was the biggest thing at the time, and certainly is still transformative for Nashville. But 8,500 jobs coming with Oracle locating here in Nashville. I mean, that is just incredible. And just to think about what that East Bank's going to look like once Oracle gets their campus up and running. But, we compete a lot with Texas. San Antonio comes to mind a lot when it comes to kind of those tech jobs. And some people don't get Nashville the respect it probably deserves when it comes to tech field and just really the talent pipeline that we're able to pull here in Nashville, whether it be through the university systems or also people that are looking to relocate here. But Oracle saw the promise that Nashville has and chose to bring its operations here, and we can't wait to have them.
How is it with a governor who is not a career politician but a businessman? I got to think having Governor Lee knowing that side of creating jobs, building businesses is so vital to our state.
It really is, Joe. I mean, Governor Lee, he believes in what we're doing. He believes in having the low business taxes, having just really that quality of work. He is a big proponent of what we do at ECD, and also just the fact that we've had previous governors too. It kind of was a seamless transition from Governor Haslam to Governor Lee, and that they knew the importance of what we were doing at ECD and all the projects that we were working and really trying to work toward those commitments of getting those big names and those companies here. But it's we talk about Oracle, we talk about Ford and Amazon and all those big corporations corporate names, but we're also seeing, some of those companies that are already here in Tennessee continue to expand. And I don't know if you know this, but 75% of job growth in the state of Tennessee comes from companies that are already here. And here at Economic and Community Development, we make sure that we're able to be good stakeholders for them and help them realize their potential and their plans for expansion as well.
Edward, you travel the whole state of Tennessee. Are you amazed at the growth you see? Because you might be in one area, then 3 months later go back to that same area, and it looks completely different. Because I am, and I just live here in Middle Tennessee.
Oh, I mean, it's incredible. And that's one of the things I love most about my job is that you do get to see the three grand regions of the state, west, middle, east. And really, I don't have a favorite. It's kind of like a child, in which you're in one part of the state and it has its own flavor. And then, you got Nashville and Middle Tennessee, but it's, Middle Tennessee is so much more than just Nashville. There's some incredible communities all the way up to the Kentucky line, down to the Alabama border. And going over to East Tennessee, I've heard some people say that Knoxville right now kind of reminds them of what Nashville was like 10 years ago. And that just kind of gives you an idea of just how really we're seeing tremendous growth, not just in Nashville. I mean, every city is seeing people that are wanting to move there. And I was over in Athens, Tennessee, kind of right between Knoxville and Chattanooga. And quick story, they said they had a family that moved from California and set up a coffee shop right in the heart of Athens, Tennessee, because they felt like that was home. And I mean, it didn't have the bright lights and the bells and whistles of Nashville or some of big cities, but people feel a calling to Tennessee and they can find a home just about anywhere. What is the favorite part of your job? I love being a facilitator. I love getting people together. You and I, we're can-do people. We are people that have a positive attitude. And I mean, it's just, I found myself when I got into economic development that there were a lot of people that had that same attitude. We're all rowing in the same direction. They're all people that are enthusiastic. We all want to, bring the big companies in. We want to help the existing industries that are here. And, there's a word that Darrell Waltrip, a Franklin native, said that, it's coopetition. That's the word that I'm using, is that, there's a cooperation among communities that are vying for certain projects, but there's also a competition of them. Like, they want to be able to land those projects too. But say it goes to one community, but the neighboring one loses out on a project, they're still going to benefit from a company locating, because there's going to be residents in that community that are going to be able to work there. And so it really is the rising tides lifts all boats mentality. And, I just love it. I love getting out to see the state. I love getting to work with our stakeholders, whether it be the local economic development officers, the schools, the workforce development side of things. I mean, it really is kind of a collective effort. And customer service, when you see and hear from a company that is astonished at how quickly we're able to mobilize the troops and get them what they need, get them a visit here in Tennessee. I mean, it's very gratifying. And again, I'm so glad that I'm in this field. It is incredible. Well, you do a fantastic job. Let me ask you this too, Edward, off of that. NFL is king. When the Tennessee Titans are blasted on the front page constantly this past 2-3 years of winning and everything, do you see kind of an effect indirectly on companies that come here or inquiring about coming to Tennessee? Basically, do the Titans play a factor? Because I think they do. I think that gives a little name recognition to the state of companies maybe wanting to come here. Well, Joe, not just the Titans. Did with their Stanley Cup run. It was back in 2017. I mean, they had those overhead shots of downtown Nashville in which you see hundreds of thousands of people all in their gold just filling the streets of Nashville. And then Butch Spiriton with the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corp took those pictures, sent them to the NFL, and says, we can host the draft. And sure enough, the NFL draft comes to Nashville. So you've just constantly had people that have been trying to showcase that Nashville is on an international stage, and the Titans winning. Man, if the Titans could get a Super Bowl ring, I mean, goodness gracious, is there nothing that Tennessee can't do and that Nashville can't accomplish? And again, it all starts with people that have the right attitude. And Butch had said, why not Nashville? And I think we carry that into the state role as well, as why not Tennessee? Why can't we attract the biggest names, the biggest brands, and the best jobs and wages for our community? I don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse, but the grumbling is that the World Cup, the Nationals going to make a kind of a bid for the World Cup in 2026. What I'm hearing, that's a global thing, Edward. That's a global thing. Absolutely, Joe. And I mean, we have a tremendous global presence. Companies from Japan, South Korea, Germany, Italy. I mean, these are countries that likely would have a presence on the World Cup stage, and probably certainly some international soccer fans as well. So again, I just love what Nashville has been able to accomplish. I love what Tennessee's been able to accomplish, and I really think that our best days are ahead of us.
I agree. Edward, I miss you, man. I had good times with you. We worked at Channel 4 together, and I'm so proud of what you're doing now and how you're putting the state and making the state really shine across the world. And so really good. Edward, thank you, brother.
Joe, you're the best, man. Thank you so much for having me on today. And mornings are better with Joe Duman, I can tell you that.
There we go. That's a promo, my man. All right, Edward, have a good day. Edward Birch, Director of Business Development, Tennessee Department of Economic, Community, and Development. Guy knows exactly what he's doing. Great guy. Does great at his job. He's a huge asset for the state of Tennessee. Hey, coming up around 7:30, Jason Michaels, magician, will join us. Really cool things that he does. It blows our mind. Back with more. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Welcome to Main Street Nashville. Our newly launched e-edition allows you to read our paper online from anywhere in the world. You are in control of how and when you read or listen. Subscribers can access our e-edition online at mainstreet-nashville.com or on a smartphone or tablet using our Main Street Nashville app. In a browser, today's and all previous issues are available at the click of a button. Main Street Nashville is fully responsive. Click and drag your cursor to move the paper left and right. To see photos and text at a larger scale, double-click on a page. Clicking print will allow you to print an article or crossword at your convenience. View photo galleries and videos by clicking the icon on an image. Click play on videos once the screen appears. Main Street Nashville's e-edition is a simple, new way to interact with and consume news. Access the full e-edition of Main Street Nashville on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Read whatever you want, whenever you want. If you have any questions, we're here to help. Call us at 615-527-4104 or email us at news@mainstreetnash.com.
I-40 downtown. Look at the traffic going. Why was this not this easy when I had to commute in the morning going through downtown Nashville? I mean, it was a nightmare getting through there. Beautiful day, looks good. Hope it stays that way all day long. Turn that music down with all that. That's the traffic job intern, all that. Well done with what's going on there. All right, welcome back to, put my camera back on here. Hey, there I am there. Intern, let me bring you in for a second here, bud. I got a question to ask for you here. You went to college down in Chattanooga, right? Yes, sir. What was, there we go. What years were you down in Chattanooga? So you spent the last couple of years down in Chattanooga, right?
Correct.
Did you see a lot of growth down in Chattanooga?
Yeah, man, it was crazy. I was working for a business that was like gig economy. So I think that's what transcended the city anyways. But
you know what? I like Chattanooga a lot.
Me too.
I do.
Man.
I really like it. I mean, I see more people kind of making their way to Chattanooga, and there's a lot of, UTC's exploded in the last couple of years.
Definitely. The orientation groups are getting a lot bigger. That was for sure.
You're going to move back there one day? Not till our show's over with.
Right. No, yeah, bro. I don't know. Maybe. I'm just not a huge hiker. They have like a bunch of stuff to do outside.
Right.
Which I respect. And, shout out to all the hikers. But it's not something I would block my whole day out for,
Well, we're going to show you something we have here that Chattanooga does not have. And if I could pull it up last night, Again, I'm overtaken by the Nashville Predators and what they did. And this was last night. This is overtime winner versus Colorado. And I want to show you guys this. 2-2-2-2. I'm out.
Advancing with Josie. Johansson shields the puck. Copper goes back into the formation. 2:05 to play.
Thank you, NashvillePredators.com.
Blast by Josi Clark. Rebound score! Yes, sir! Matt Duchene wins it!
I don't know. I love this hockey team, even when they're bad. I mean, we had season tickets for them, and they've really never been bad. I mean, in the early years, yes, but man, rolling. And then win last night a big game over Colorado. Couldn't see the crowd down there. People having a good time. Like Edward talked about, Birch in 2017, that Stanley Cup run, just to see the city go crazy and then win last night. Huge win for the Predators. Love it, man. I love it, love it, love it. I like it a lot. And they're back home on celebration. That's the same celebration we have when we get the show off going smooth, isn't it?
Exactly. Yep. Everybody comes from the boards. The band comes in if they played well.
Oh, the advertising staff over there and the copy editors and the graphics, they just come running in here. That's good. All right, we'll take a break. Coming back, Jason Michaels, a magician, will join us. If you've never seen Jason Michaels, you're in for a treat. He does shows here in Nashville. He is simply fantastic. And we're honored to have him on the show. We're going to get him on here every week and just promote him because what he does is just blows the intern. And yes, we're still trying to figure out 2 weeks ago what he did with that trick. And the best part about it is you spend 2 weeks trying to figure it out and you never can truly figure out what's going on. So Jason Michaels, join us next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Coach Hunt, Jim Toman at Middle Tennessee State. Wanted to give you a shout out and congratulate you on an unbelievable career. Love for you to come this fall or in the spring to Middle Tennessee State and talk baseball or maybe even chat to my team, maybe catch a game or two. Just an unbelievable run that you've had. There's very few college baseball coaches that have done what you've done, Coach. And I want you to enjoy the retirement. I know you're still working in the athletic department, but take it easy, have fun, stay safe, and just proud of you and all your accomplishments.
I'm Tim Leeper, I own Tim Leeper Roofing, and we do residential and commercial service and replacement. We're basically your friends in the roofing business. We're local, we can help you, we're quick to respond. Without customers, we don't have a business. So if there's anything we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to call.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. You live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
Briley Parkway in Lebanon. That's by Donaldson, as we refer to on this show, God's country. So pretty over there. This Donaldson. I mean, that is heaven on earth. Mainly because I live there, but also because it is heaven on earth. Traffic road looks smooth. Look at that. Man, at 7:32 on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Wednesday for Mornings on Main Street. All right, let's have some fun now. Intern. Let's bring in our good friend, Jason Michaels, the magician, who joins us today. Jason, you have not only blown my mind, but I'm not sure the intern will ever be the same.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I don't know what. Okay, so it's funny. You build me up, and I so highly appreciate it. And I love the fact that you guys have been having fun. If I was counting, and I think we're 4 for 4. 4 appearances, 4 solid magic tricks.
I'm still 2 weeks ago, that one, how you did that, and I'm being serious. And the intern and I, we talked about it after the show. We couldn't figure it out. It blew our mind, and we just kind of stared at each other for like a minute. It was really weird.
That was the conversation. It wasn't like any words. It was just like,
right.
Yeah.
No,
well, how do you feel about magic tricks that might not work? That's what I'm wondering this morning. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean,
because it's the thing that magicians never talk about, right? But like sometimes magic tricks don't work. I mean, it's like, it's like the whole, like with magic, there, like with singing, like you can be like, oh, you can be perfect, or you can be a little pitchy, or you can be way off. But with magic, there is no middle ground. It's either you do a good magic trick or you don't.
I would not. If I was a magician and my magic trick failed, I'd just walk off and never come back.
Yeah, same. I was thinking, like, because you build it up kind of like a comedian does to the punchline.
Yeah.
You get to the punchline and it's not funny.
Well, that's, and that's the hard part about it. I've played around with comedy a little bit, just a little bit, because it is very hard to do. And it's a very scary thing when you stand up there all by yourself and tell people I'm going to be funny. And then they're like, oh yeah, we'll be the judge of that.
Right.
All right. How are the shows going?
The shows are going great. Really good turnouts. We're about 2/3 full for this Saturday night show. We still have about 10 or 11 tickets still available for the public. And we talked about this before, but it's a really intimate show. We only have about we only seat about 30, 32 people. That's what keeps the show so interesting, is that it really feels like, even if you're sitting in the back, it feels like you're just right there as part of it. So and it is an interactive show. People get to participate in and whatnot.
I know we've asked you this before, but do you prefer intimates, or you've played arenas, you've played concert halls, you've played classrooms. What do you have a favorite?
It's hard to say. I like the audience who was in front of me right then. I mean, because every size group has a different challenge. Like a really big audience is a way different vibe than just a small group. It just feels wildly different when you can look and literally see the whites of everybody's eyes. Then you know that it feels more like we're in my living room together and we're all, hanging out and having fun. When it's just a big group and they all respond at the same time loudly and whatnot, then you feel that energy hit you, it washes over you, and it just is a wildly different feeling. But with the last couple of years, and there for a while, I wasn't performing at all. I just remembered why I love performing so much. I just really feel fortunate to be able to do so.
We have the website at mysteriesandillusions.com. You can click on everything right there to find out about Jason Michaels, the show dates, and everything that's going on. I like your little graphic there. That looks kind of mysterious. Looks like the top of a liquor bottle.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, have a few drinks before you come to the show. It gets even better. So, what's funny is that little logo right there, there's a hidden thing there. So those look like my initials, Jason Michaels, but it also look like an M and an I for Mysteries and Illusions. So ooh,
nice.
Very
fancy. It kind of, Jason, looks like me, and I wake up in the morning and my back hurts.
Don't make me laugh, Joe. You're killing me.
Oh my goodness. All right. What do you have for us for today, Jason?
All right. So here's the deal. I was thinking about the different magic I've done so far, and I'm going to do some magic, but we're going to do magic through the screen with everybody. So that means you, Joe. That means you, Justin. That means people at home.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do. You have to listen very carefully, though. You have to listen to my instructions, or this is going to go downhill quickly. So listen, I wrote on some playing cards. I wrote down some of the things that magic is like. So for instance, some of the things, some of the items that magicians use, some of the feelings that you feel when you see magic. I'm going to show these to you, And I don't want you to tell me, but I want you to start remembering one of the words that I show you. There's a bunch of them here. Just remember one of them. So you can either remember amaze or cards or rope or coin or float or book or appear or mental or wonder. So remember one of those words. Now listen to me. Now this is very important. In a moment, I'm going to have you spell to yourself. Don't spell it out loud, just to yourself. I'm going to go through the letters here. And
Okay.
each one of these words is going to count for a letter. So if I was thinking of the word float, it would look like this. F-L-O-A-T. And I would remember the next word that I land at, which just happens to be float, but I knew that ahead of time. So that was just coincidence.
Okay.
So whatever word you're thinking of, I'm going to go through these, and I want you're going to land on a new word, and you're going to start remembering that new word. Okay.
Okay.
You with me?
Yep.
I tell you what I'm going to do though. I'm going to shuffle the cards just so we're starting fresh. All right, here we go. This is letter 1, letter 2, letter 3, letter 4, letter 5, letter 6, letter 7, letter 8, letter 9. All right. So you have a new letter. I'm sorry, you have a new word. All right. Now this has to be random or else it's not going to be much of a magic trick. So here, we're going to do that one more time. I'm going to shuffle the cards again, and I'm going to have you do that again. So we're going to go through the cards again with your new word. I want you to spell your new word. Whatever the last letter ends on, remember that, and this will be your final new word. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Letter number 1, letter number 2, letter number 3, letter number 4, letter number 5, letter number 6, letter number 7, letter number 8, letter number 9. All right. You've got a brand new word that you didn't even know you'd be thinking of. Here's what I'm wondering. I don't think you're thinking of the word appear. I just don't think you're thinking of it.
Okay.
I don't think you're thinking of the word mental. I just don't think you are. I don't think you're thinking of the word wonder. How am I doing so far?
Very well.
Okay. I don't think you're thinking of the word coin. I don't think you're thinking of the word float. And I don't think you're thinking of the word book. I also don't think you're thinking of the word rope, nor do I think you're thinking of the word cards. I think you're thinking of the word amaze, and that's why that's the only blue back card out of all those red back cards.
Okay. Justin, can you put the boxes back up there? I have the word amaze circled on my pad.
I think I messed up during the whole thing.
No, I circled the word amaze, and the fact you came up with amaze, now my head hurts. That is way to keep up.
And here's the thing, Joe. Here's what I want you to do. If you can do this, I don't know if you can do this, but ask the folks to type in online and ask them if they were playing along. Ask them what they came up with. And I know that it worked for you, Joe. I want to know if it worked for a bunch of people, because if it did, that would be miraculous.
Look, I don't care about anybody else. I just know that right now you blew my mind again, because I had amaze circled. And when you're going through the cards, I'm thinking there's no way you're going to pull out the card amaze, and you did. And I already had it circled minutes before you did that. I don't know. I truly do not know how you do this, Jason.
You know, sometimes I'm surprised myself, if we're being honest.
Man.
So
Crazy.
Do you do this trick when you do the intimate setting?
No, this is a trick. This is literally a trick I was working on yesterday just for you guys, because I knew that it was something that I could do with you and everybody who's watching, and that it works through the screen. It's like the hard part about doing magic through this is that, like, if you and I were standing here, I could say, hey, Joe, pick a card. You could pick a card, and I could do a card trick the way that it normally works. But doing it through the screen, it's like, okay, how in the world do you make a magic trick work when I'm here and you're there?
Oh my goodness. Intern doesn't know what hit him. I am, not to use the word, but I am amazed at that. That is so, again, Jason, the show is the show this Saturday?
Saturday night, and it's we changed the start time. We moved it up just a little bit because we know folks like to get home a little early. So the show now starts at 7:30 this Saturday night, And we would love to have anybody who wants to come and be amazed.
Mysteriesandillusions.com. Jason Michaels, you are amazing. Thanks, brother. We'll see you next week.
See you next time.
All right, Jason Michaels doing that. Oh, my goodness. Look, we're going to go from Jason Michaels to one of the funniest guys you'll ever come across up next. He's at Zanies tonight. He's a part of a show that's going on tonight. Very funny, man. Brian Bates joins us next. You're going to remember this guy's name for a long time. He'll join us next on the show. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. You could get arrested. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal.
In a complex world, our greatest strength is our people. Always has been, always will be. Regular Army, National Guard, and Army Reserve. Executing every mission. Preparing for everything. And that's why people matter. Every soldier, every Army civilian, every Army family, every soldier for life. Every one of us. People who make up the best equipped, best trained, best led force in the world. People who serve something greater than themselves. Ready now, investing in the future across every domain. Because in today's complex world, when the stakes are high, America calls its Army. And when that call comes, second place is not an option. We'll remain ready. We'll modernize. We'll compete. We'll fight. And we will win. Because winning matters.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. You're looking at the I-40 coming in from the west side, coming to town. And look at the traffic. Where was all this when I was commuting? This is going smoothly. There's no problems. There's nothing happening, which is good. But my goodness, when I was doing this, couldn't get from Donaldson to the west side. It took me 4 hours to do this. But all right, there we go. Glad that everybody's doing fine and having a good time. All right, speaking of a good time, there's going to be one tonight at Zanies, partly because of our next guest. Let's bring in Brian Bates to the show this morning. Brian, I'm so honored for you to be on the show, man. Big fan of yours. Thank you for doing this.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm sorry I'm in a parking garage of St. Thomas Midtown right now, but life happens. And my wife had a little health scare, but here I am.
Good. Thank you. Everything okay?
She's good. She's good. We're expecting our first child, and her blood pressure went up really high during the night. So just to be safe, we came here, but it's all good. Blood pressure's under control. And I'm standing here because she should be walking out any minute now, being discharged.
Brian, do you have a gender reveal?
We did not have, we know what the gender is, but we did not have a gender reveal.
I got to think, are you a big fan of gender reveals?
No, I'm not. My buddy Aaron Weber has a very funny joke about gender reveals, about how sometimes they go wrong, because there's been like wildfires and crazy stuff that have happened because of those. And then, they're like, well, if you have a wildfire that causes damage, you got a gender reveal. You can't be changing your gender when you get 16. You got to stick, whatever that gender is, you got to stick with it.
Right. A wildfire.
Because you've done too much damage.
I love your story, Brian. You're like me. You used to work in television news and you were dabbling in comedy and you took comedy full time. What was the one that said, you know what? I want to do this full time. What was the leap of faith you took?
I worked in TV news for almost 20 years. And I took a stand-up comedy class when, here comes my wife. I see her being discharged. Took a stand-up comedy class when 15 years ago this month, I took a stand-up comedy class and I really enjoyed it. I just thought I didn't do it for fun, but it really kind of just, I had a fun time with the students in there and the teacher, and I just kind of kept going. But it was still just a big hobby while I worked at News Channel 5. And then I did that for 8 years where I would work during the day in TV and then at night go to open mics or travel to do shows, do whatever. And then finally just got the point 7 years ago where I quit my job and went full-time into stand-up comedy.
You're an overnight success.
Yeah, overnight success. And here I'm at 50, finally making it.
but I'm jealous of you, and I think the leap of faith, more people need to do that. You're on the show tonight with Aaron Weber over at Zanies, and I got to think, being in around 20 years, working in television news, being in Nashville so long, to get on that Zanies stage, does still give you a little chill bumps?
Oh, absolutely. Zanies is not just the best and really only club in Nashville. It's one of the best clubs in America, and I've traveled all over the country now, and it's just not me saying that. It's not Nashville bias. Comics all over the country say that. Zanies is such a great club. And I grew up here, as you did as well, I think, right?
Yes.
So we know Zanies, and we know just how cool a place it is. And so, yeah, it's great.
When is the baby due?
The baby is due April 8th.
April 8th. All right. And so I've been looking, you're on the road. I mean, so did you block off a couple of months now with the baby for the arrival?
Yeah, we did. I mean, they think she may come early, so my March is very much up in the air. It's tough because, she may have her own plans, but we're just going to be fluid about it and try to do the best we can because, yeah, I'm on the road now almost every weekend going from one city to the other.
What's tonight? You play with Aaron at Zanies. You're opening up for Aaron over there. I got to think, an opening act for a comedian, it's not easy, man. But watching your stuff, I mean, within minutes, you got the crowd in the grasp of your hands. How do you do that? I mean, is there a simple formula? Do you change it up every show? What do you do?
I don't change it up every show. Usually it's basically the same. It's always evolving. You're always adding new jokes, and then some of your older ones are going away. So now for me, we've been married 2 years this month. So for the last 2 years, I've done a ton of new marriage jokes, as you might imagine.
Right.
About the wedding, the marriage, all that stuff. Now we're pregnant, expecting a child. So now I'm starting to tell more and more jokes about becoming a father at age 50 and all that stuff. So I still have some marriage jokes in there, but some of the new marriage stuff that's starting to kind of get worked out. And now there's the baby stuff that's starting to come in. So my set's always evolving, but it's not like I do a different act every night. There might be something that happens that day that I share on stage, or I might make a particular specific comment about something in the town I'm in. I tried to get out of town last weekend. Let's see, what day did the snow hit? Thursday? Last Thursday. Couldn't get out that day. Friday, I was at the airport all day. I had a show that night in Norfolk, Virginia. And I was at the Nashville airport for like 7 hours, then on my flight for a couple hours, then in the Uber to the hotel. So I had to wear that mask for like 9 hours straight. And when I got to my hotel room, and I said this on stage, when I got to my hotel room and I took that mask off, it felt so good. I'm like, that must be what women feel like when they take their bra off at the end of the day. Because first of all, I don't think I wear the right size mask.
Right.
My back hurts at the end of the day. I read where 3 out of 4 men wear the wrong size mask. So, right. I told that on stage, and that was something happened that day. But generally, my act is it's going to be pretty similar every night.
I love it. Before we let you go, and I know, and I really appreciate you doing this morning, Brian, because I know all that's going on. Thank you so much. I got to ask, playing the Opry, that has got to be something where you pinch yourself like, what in the world am I doing here?
Absolutely. I mean, again, because I grew up here like you did. I mean, obviously we know about the Opry, but everybody knows about the Opry. That's the one thing where you tell your friends that live in Nebraska or Illinois or whatever, they know the Opry. So they know that's a big deal. And I knew it was going to be great, but it was even greater than I expected. And I've done it 3 times now. Got to do, and every time's just been wonderful. And I hope to get to do it much more. But yeah.
Well, it's great. I think you did a great job. You captured the crowd there again, man. So I love what you do, man. I know you got to go. Thank you for your time. We'll have you on down the road a little bit when things calm down, Brian. But tonight at Zanies, if you're going out there, expect a good time. You and Aaron Weber, you guys are great, man. So Brian, thank you, buddy, and have a good day, pal.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you.
All right, Brian Bates comic at Zanies tonight. Very, very, very funny, man. And I love it. At 50, becoming a new dad. My goodness. We could share all the dads could share stories of kids and raising them and everything else. Boy, it's been an adventure. Best adventure there is, though. I will tell you that. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap up this beautiful show next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Makes as much sense as driving drunk. Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Looking at Fern Avenue. Fern Avenue is very popular because when it snowed or something happened around, they would always send us TV reporters out to stand on the I-65 in Fern Avenue. That is looking north of the city, going out towards Madison, Goodlettsville, and the Rivergate area. So that's why Fern Avenue, if it rings a bell, that's why. Because it became very popular because we used it in TV all the time. All right, welcome back to the Mornings on Main Street. The final segment, we end it with, as we always do, with celebrity birthdays. Brought to you by
Possibly You.
Attaboy, intern. All right, celebrity birthdays today, January the 12th. Let's start off the first one. Kirstie Alley, intern. How old is Kirstie Alley?
Name sounds familiar, so I probably know.
She was on Cheers, Look Who's Talking, Star Trek movie number 2, The Wrath of Khan.
68.
71. Howard Stern.
Ooh, big Howard fan. Because of you, actually.
Thank you.
And let's say he's 72.
68. Actor Oliver Platt, who one of the best movies I've ever, Flatliners, came out in 1990. He was in it. Great movie. Oliver Platt, how old is he?
Let's say Oliver Platt is. They just did a remake of that movie, I think, right?
I have no idea.
He's 64.
61. God, you're so close. Man. Rob Zombie.
54.
57. You've missed 3 by 1 year, man.
That's crazy.
Devin Doday's one of her dear friends, country singer William Lee Golden of the Oak Ridge Boys. He's the one with the long beard.
Okay.
You have no idea what I'm talking about. That's right, though.
Long beard did help for some reason in my mind. Let's say 71.
83. Country singer Ricky Van Shelton.
Ricky Van Shelton. You know any songs by him?
No, I do, but I not off the top of my head.
Okay. Let's say 61.
He is 70. I mean, you're in the neighborhood, just knocking on the wrong door. Lead singer of Jars of Clay, Dan Hasseltine.
We'll go 44.
49.
Man.
Sporty Spice of the Spice Girls.
61.
48.
I was going to say.
Do you even know who the Spice Girls are?
I do, absolutely. Who doesn't, right? You
know? All right. My favorite NBA basketball player of all time, Dominique Wilkins.
He's your favorite?
Love him. Love him.
Let's see. He's probably 61.
62.
Boom. Got out of here with one.
Wow. We got one more.
Ooh, all right.
Richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos or whatever. Jeff Bezos.
He's probably like 387 with all that money. Let's say 38.
You think the richest man in the world is 38?
No. Hold on. I'd like to. 58.
58 exactly. Doesn't count, though, because we take your first answer on the show. Intern, thanks, brother, for all you do.
Thank you.
All right, man. Again, thank you to Brian Bates, comic, Jason Michaels, Edward Birch. A lot of good information today. We had a mover and shaker. We had a magician. We had a comedian on the show to bring you the best positive, fun stuff every morning. Thank you for watching. As we leave you with this is every morning, be nice to people, smile, wave, let people in traffic open doors. Remember, nobody cares about your CrossFit workout unless you're doing it for a charity. And as always, remember this, nobody ever went broke by giving. We'll see you guys tomorrow.